Greetings YouTube, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome to the 4th episode of my 7 Days to Die Let's Play series. Today we are going to focus on a pretty bad problem I'm worrying about, and that's food. So in the last episode we built the small little base you can see now. Nothing special at the moment, but it does keep me pretty safe from the horde. But unfortunately we have run out of food overnight, and another thing I really could use is some water containers and also just basic supplies, and the nearby town is going to help us out with that. We're going to head on there now, and hopefully I'm going to be able to find some food, water and other supplies. Now normally when I'm looking for food I'll generally try and go for animals, but animals are pretty hard to find in Alpha 16. And a more surefire way of getting supplies is to loot towns. So I was going to try and do a bit of farming in this episode, but in the time it'll take me to get a farm running, I'll probably have starved to death. So we made an executive decision. I'm going to head towards town. Now if you're paying attention in the bottom left hand corner, you can see my food meter. It's pretty bad. It's pretty dire. And I've got these berries, they're just small snow berries at the moment, and they do an okay job of keeping me alive, but of course they will give me diarrhea or dysentery, and that's going to be pretty bad. So the town should have a lot of good food, and hopefully some medical supplies as well. We're also, if we have time today, going to try and make a beeline for the desert, and I'm going to grab a couple more of the yucca fruits. And also check out some of these crops here, because this is going to help me. These potatoes here. If they are indeed grown, excellent, here we go. Now we can of course eat these if we get desperate, but I would rather actually create a heap of seeds for these potatoes and grow them at my base. We'll be able to create a lot of really useful recipes from those. We are going to take out some Zeds. Now there are a few places I always try and visit when I'm in town. First of all, gas stations, always a really good place to visit, but as you can see we've got a wolf out the front. So we might actually skip that for now. And we're going to move on up here and try and see if we can get into some of these high-rise buildings. But I'm very, very desperately in need of food right now. So we're going to start on the other side of town at the supermarket. So hopefully the supermarket will have a lot of food. Well, it should. But unfortunately, the supermarket is also fairly dangerous. Any large stores in the game will often have a lot of enemies inside of them. And some of the really, really big stores, like your department stores, gun stores, will often have feral zombies or feral wights inside of them. And look at that pig just standing there, asking to be killed. And I will get to him in a minute, because that's just that's a free meal just waiting to be seized up. Let's smash this guy. Alright, so what we've actually gotten there is a iron garden hoe. So that's actually that's definitely going to mean doing some farming is going to be a lot easier for me now. I'm going to peg this guy in the head. Nice shot. Pull out our bone knife. I'm going to carve him up. We'll get some meat, we'll get some animal hide, and of course some animal fat. All very useful ingredients. So next stop is the supermarket. And there's going to be a pretty fierce fight. So luckily we got here first thing in the morning, so we should have a chance to clear this out today and grab some of the supplies in the back. Now that's really useful. Some chainsaw parts. If I can find a schematic, I can build myself a chainsaw. That's one of the most useful melee weapons in the game. Now we're gonna teach you a little bit about Combat 101 inside buildings. Zombies have a sleeping state, as you can see. These guys, they're just they're chilling at the moment. Now I can get a headshot in, and I could have a good chance of killing them instantly. Unfortunately, this is of course a pretty cruddy bow. So if I had a crossbow or a compound bow, something with a bit more punch, I probably would have killed him in one hit. And as you can see, severely weakened from that hit. Hitting a zombie in a crouched position while they're unawares will get you a really nice bonus to damage. There we go. This is what we're after, these glass bottles. We're going to fill these up with water. Now the other thing we're going to want to do is to try and get ourselves a cooking pot, because we'll need the cooking pot to boil water. A headshot for this guy. And we'll give him a couple of love taps on the head. Boink. Nothing personal, buddy. Man's got to eat. There we go. There's a very systematic way of clearing out these stores. You want to try and go from the front to the back. Clear the entranceway. And then clear each of the aisles. I tend to try and work from the entrance inward. And make sure I have a clear escape path, if possible. There we go, meat stew. Let's smash that down. Now, that, as you can see, that's actually brought my hunger from nothing up to virtually full. So that was a really, really good find for loot. Take this guy out with the headshot. He's one of the fat zombies, so he's going to take a little bit of a beating. And we want to try and avoid getting hit. And there's a couple of reasons for that, beyond the obvious. We don't have a lot of medical supplies. Oh, there's some food for us. So getting hit at the moment could be quite troublesome. We don't have a lot of antibiotics. Now, I did pick up some honey in the last episode, but I've only got the one jar, so I'd like to not waste that if I can avoid it. So, looks like we've got some attention already. We'll see if we can take a zombie out. We'll let them smash their way through. They'll take a while. There we go. So it actually sounds like that's a few. So we might want to back up and let them file in here. Let's have a look if there's any other zombies in this area that we can kill. No, we're looking good. We're not going to get jumped. We'll let these guys break through. We might even give them a bit of help. Oh, okay. So, yeah, we've got... No, it appears there's some coming out that way too. So, yeah. They're all in the back room. Bit of a worry, but we can take them out. And even if we can't, I can always lead them outside, take them out one at a time. It's still very early at the moment. We just want to make sure they don't come up one of the other aisles and block off my escape route. Now these big bummers here, as I like to call them, are the ones you want to worry about the most. They hit really hard. I'm going to try and separate them if we can. This would be a really good opportunity if there's a wolf nearby to try and lure them to the wolf. Now I hate these chicks, they're pretty tough, so I might soften her up a bit with a couple of love taps from the bow. Let's also give my stamina a chance to recharge. It's nothing personal, I mean, it's a zombie apocalypse. I'm just trying to find some food, guys. As you can see, the points into the stamina-based skills are really working out well for me at the moment. Getting consistent hits. My weapon, of course, is a little bit broken, so we're gonna. Oop. We might just back up a bit there. It appears I'm out of wood, but that's okay. It's a good way to get some. Okay. So I can't make an... it appears you can't actually repair the wooden club. There you go. I did not know that. I often don't use the wooden club beyond the first day. I usually upgrade straight to a metal one, but we are a little bit short of resources at the moment, so I decided to stay with the wooden one. This town is very heavily populated, so this is going to be a real struggle to make it in. Oh, wow, okay, we've got some rifle rounds, some nice arrows too. Chuck that out, and some tin cans, so all very useful stuff. Now, to use different arrows, I can swap to the iron arrows. The steel arrows. Now, watch this. There's actually quite a significant difference in damage between steel and arrows made out of rocks, of course. This is a bit of a nail driver, as you can see. Okay, blueberry seed. Now, I think we have already got blueberry seeds. look at the body jumping around. It's almost like I pinned her to the ground with the arrow. I like to think that's what happened. Alright, we'll just have a look around the edge. Okay. There's one out the back. See if we can roll up and get a free hit in the back of the dome. Alright. We're looking good. We're looking good. So yeah, there's a very methodical way to looting these stores, and I find that if you are going to die in this game, you're most likely going to die inside a house. That's probably outside of nighttime combat. That's probably the most dangerous. Now we don't need lead at the moment, but I will take brass, because brass we will always need a lot of. All right, excellent. So I don't want to attract any more zombies than I have to. So we'll jump back in. I think there was a couple of stragglers that I missed, so let's get back in here and crack some skulls. And then we can start looting this place, try and get ourselves some food. Okay, nothing too much. I thought it'd be more than just 2, but that's okay. These guys in the hazmat suits are... They're a little bit tough. They're one of the toughest zombies, but they have some pretty decent loot, including you can actually get a hazmat suit off one of them. And they have really nice environmental protection. As you can see, I'm just ducking in, ducking out. I am a bit thirsty, though. That's not good, because I don't have any water on me. I know I do have one. Okay. It's all good. Some painkillers. Now, that's really good. If we get hurt, we're definitely going to want those. What else have we got here? I can scrap that. Scrap that. Whoa! What was that? Oh, zombie corpse. It's okay. This game has the really, really good ability of just terrifying the hell out of me. Because the zombies are a very real threat. They're 1 or 2 zombies in the right spot, or a particular type of zombie can take you out, even if you're very well armed. They really are an ever-present and ever-dangerous threat. The thing with survival games, at least for me, is that a lot of the games, when you actually get to the end game point, the enemies and the challenges in the game just stop being so much of a challenge, because you get a lot of gear, you get a lot of skills, and your character becomes so powerful that they become overpowered. And definitely later stages of the game are a little bit easier than when you first start off, but the game does a really good job of scaling the difficulty. Okay, we've got heaps of potato seeds, we don't need those. The game does a really good job of scaling the difficulty with your experience. So you get 100 days in, the game's going to be, you're going to have some really good gear, but on the other side, the game's also going to be very, very hard. It's going to scale upwards. It's going to be very consistently dangerous. Whoa, okay, what was that? Let's, oh, hello. I don't know if that was a horde or they came from the other bathroom or what. But we need to take them out. I'm glad that I actually kept my listening ears on, because if they had have cornered me, we could have been in some trouble. Couple of hits there. I'm going to really... I can't wait to get a better weapon. If I can loot myself a knife, machete, or a metal club. Something with a little bit of punch. Damn it. Unfortunately, this club is very, very weak. It's one of the main reasons why I use the club over the knife is just the stun and the reach. So most weapons will have a knockback. The club, as you can see, doesn't always work, but it does have stun, it does have a decent reach, and it's very reliable. It lasts a long time. Some people swear by the knife, but for me, I always use the club. I always use blunt weapons because they're pretty reliable. Let's eat that up. So what we've got here is we've got a lot of good stuff. We've got some arrowheads, we've got some food, we've got some water, all lamb rations. Okay, so as you can see, we're building up a nice. I'm just trying to think of what I can. Let's eat that. Okay, so yeah, our main goal today is we need food. We need to get as much food as we can. Now, cloth and other stuff, that's all going to be useful. Definitely want to keep the iron gardening hoe. We're going to need that for our farm. We'll chuck the plant fibers. And then we'll head out the back, because I think I saw a little pharmacy area, if I'm not mistaken. Here we go. So hopefully we can find, find some medical supplies. Here we go. Beautiful. I don't need a splint. Nice. All medical supplies, empty bottles, all good stuff. All stuff we want. Vitamins can be handy if you can get dysentery. I tend to just use them as I find them for the wellness boost. I often find vitamins aren't that useful for me. I barely ever need them. We'll scrap those. So all these painkillers. The good thing about painkillers, of course, is that they're stackable, and they will regenerate your health very fast. Okay, bottled water. We definitely want that. Just trying to see. We're struggling with trying to be able to fit everything in my inventory, but we need these iron arrowheads for iron arrows. But I'm thinking I got to make some hard decisions here. I got to scrap them. Okay, empty tins, because we haven't found a first aid kit. We definitely want that. What can I drop? This is the hard thing. You gotta make the hard decisions. Work out what to throw away. 3 dukes. Now, what I just threw away was the casino coins, the Duke's casino coins. I wouldn't recommend you do that unless you're picking up a lot of Duke's coins. The fact that I only have 3, it's not really 3. The bartering system in this game, everything's very expensive. 3 coins are not going to buy me anything. Even the cheapest item in the game is going to be more than 3 coins. So it's a pretty safe bet to get rid of those. Don't need that. Don't need that. And another thing, when you're going to town, you want to go on a looting spree. You always want to have a very specific goal in mind. So, sham sandwiches. Now I could turn those into if I had a beaker, I could turn those into moldy bread, which I can make antibiotics with, but I'm definitely not there yet. Okay, so as you can see, we're getting a lot of these cans of spam. And at the start of the game, this is really going to be what you're relying on for food. Another meat stew. Now that I really want that, because that's gonna solve my meat problems, my food problems for quite a while. One meat stew can fill me up for the whole day. Hard decisions, guys. Hard decisions. What do I do? Drink the beer. Take the stew. Okay. So as you can see, we're getting quite a good stock of tinned food out of the supermarket, which is really good. The tinned food will, one, give us a nice amount of food, and two, once the tins are used, we can simply fill them up with water. So without a cooking pot at the moment, we're going to have to rely on tinned food a fair bit. So our goal now is simply to we're going to break open this safe and have a bit of a peek inside. I doubt I'm going to get a pistol or anything worth taking with me. But as you can see, using most of the mining tools in the game take up a lot of your stamina. And that's why you want to have skills like Sexual Tyrannosaurus, Minor 69er. Because stamina in this game can be life or death. And it also, almost every action in the game requires a lot of stamina. So I'm just going to smash away at this. You can also find books and other useful stuff in here. I'd really like to find a book on knives, so I can make myself a decent knife. There we go. Okay, short barrel for a shotgun. I might leave that there now. I don't have a book on how to assemble a shotgun. Oh wow. Okay, mini bikes for dumb shits. So I hope I don't get flagged for swearing, but that's literally the name of the book. So that's really good. That means we can make ourselves a motorbike. Presuming we find the right parts, of course. Here's our a pro tip: always check toilets. For some reason, you will find 9mm pistols in toilets. If I was a hired hitman, probably wouldn't be leaving my used weapons in a public toilet, but it serves our purposes at the end of the world. Okay, medicine cabinets. Here we go. So first aid schematic. We definitely want that. Nitrate powder. We can get that anywhere. Okay. So that is the sound of a plane going overhead and dropping some supplies. Let's see. What I tend to do is just jump outside and gauge how far that is. That's actually not too far at all, so it's in visual range. We'll check that drop out. The airplane drops have a very high chance of containing things like guns, complete guns, or rare gun parts, and more importantly, medical supplies and beakers and even books. So we definitely want to check this out. It's actually not too far away. Although my depth perception may be completely out, but as I recall, that might be fairly close to our home. So we'll check it out, and then we'll drop our stuff back at home, and then go in and see if we can do a little bit more looting. But I'm not too worried about food now. We're good for food. We've got a little bit of water, and I did hang on to a couple of the yucca fruits. So if we get in some trouble, I can always, of course, just get. I'm a bit worried about wolves, so make sure we've got some barbed wire down. So fingers crossed this is something that's something good. I'm really hoping it's a beaker. I'd love a beaker right now. Something with a bit of... I don't want to piss these guys off. Just be really quiet and hope that he doesn't see me. Okay. Oh, we want that. Oh, man. Oh, he's still my beating heart. Sniper rifle. An AK barrel and the beaker. Okay, so we're going to have to drop that. We're taking those. And we are absolutely taking the AK-47. The only question is, what do I drop? Let's smash this down. Alright. So what we've got ourselves is a sniper rifle. I'm absolutely stoked by that. So right off the bat, at the start of the game, we've got one of the best weapons in the game. Now, I should take a moment to talk about weapon quality. So weapon quality is something that's very important to note, because weapons of a low quality will... You won't get weapons that jam, but weapons of a low quality will break. They'll jam. They won't jam, but they will not do a lot of damage. So weapon damage is completely determined by the quality of the weapon. So this won't be very powerful, but on the other hand, it's a sniper rifle, so it's still going to have a lot of punch, and it's certainly better than a bow. So we'll just chuck all of this stuff away. That zombie's getting taken care of. The beaker is a really good find. Got 20 glass jars, so we're going to be good for food. Empty tin. Brass. Shovel. And we'll get rid of our steel arrows as well. And the painkillers, because we've got some first aid bandages. Okay. So I'm feeling somewhat more safe now that I'm toting a decent gun. And now our inventory is nice and freed up. We can go in and have another crack at town. I would have really liked to pick up some more meat, animal meat, and also get my hands on some medical supplies. There's some more medical supplies, like a blood draw kit. Some of the things we can use to make medical kits. But we've done well. We've done alright. You know, I'm definitely pretty happy about this gun here. Now, I probably shouldn't do this, but it's a brand new gun. So we have, as with all firearms, we must sight it in. Yeah, it's good. It's now a higher quality gun would have taken that guy's head right off, but as you can see, it weakened him a fair bit. All right, so we head on up the hill. So it's not often you find a quality supply drop like that off the bat. So now this gun actually does have a silencer, but it's not functional. The gun does actually fire without any sort of suppression. It's for aesthetic use only. The only gun that seems to have a functioning silencer in this game is the MP5, and we won't have that for a while probably. The MP5 is one of the nicest guns in the game. I do want to take that wolf out, but I'm not going to waste the ammo. So let's now the wolf's wandered off on his own. Let's check out this petrol station, because now we have a book on building a mini bike. We're going to need some fuel for it, of course. We're probably not going to get a mini bike off the bat, but I can hear. I don't know if you heard that, but the zombies are asleep inside. We want to try and get in there as quietly as we can. Try and pick a couple off. And if things go bad and I have to go loud, then that's what I'm going to do. But one of the really good things about looting these petrol stations is that they'll often have bike parts, which is one of the things that now we've found the book. It's on our list now. I absolutely want a motorbike if I can get it. Headshot. Nice. Nope, no zombies down there. So we're just scoping the place out. Now, one of the questions that I was asked is whether the sound of you, or whether the act of you turning on your lamp actually wakes zombies up. And as far as I can tell, it has no effect whatsoever. It would be nice as an effect to be able to wake zombies up if you walk into a house with a light source, but not a big deal. So here's our working stiff tools. Here we go. So fantastic. Claw hammer is one of the things we'll need to create a workbench. So the other thing we'll want is a wrench if we can get our hands on one. Car parts, nothing yet. Beautiful. So we've got our hands on a couple of parts for our bike. This has really been a really good looting run. Everything's come up aces for me today. Oh, and a wrench as well. Oh, and a pistol. So you see what I said about pistols in toilets for some reason? I always seem to find pistols in toilets. I always loot the toilets. This is fantastic. We might actually have an operational motorbike. So the other thing we want to do is check out the office in here. Now, often you don't usually find on a looting run so many weapons and supplies. I've actually very rarely had a looting run where on the fourth day I've managed to find myself a rifle, a pistol, and a full set of supplies, including medical stuff. So this is an exceptionally lucky run for me. Nothing yet. We want to try and grab. The one thing we haven't found is that elusive cooking pot. So we definitely want to keep looking for that. And that wolf, we want to try and stay away from him. Now, I might actually swap out to my pistol, simply for the fact that if we do run into anything, it's going to be a point blank range. What shall we? I'll scrap that and we'll take that. So what have we got here? What can I drop? Scrap that. Scrap that. Yeah, this is one of the things is that I know there's a mod which increases your carrying capacity, but I'm hesitant to use it because I think it would break a lot of the immersion of the game. One of the things that I love to hate is the fact that you can only carry. Oh, wow, this is amazing. This is like the best looting run I've ever done. At least early in the game. The game's just throwing guns at me right now. So we've got our horde walking past. They've missed me entirely, so very fortunate for me. I'll just duck and hopefully they won't hear me. So twice a day you'll get a horde coming through. Oh, blast! I'm a bit thirsty. That's okay. Yeah, a couple of times a day you'll get a horde dropping through. And you want to try and, when you do see them, stay out of the way for obvious reasons. So halfway, it looks like they're still coming. Because I'm ducked behind this wall here, and I should be pretty quiet. They won't see me. They'll keep on their way. Though I might even Might even get myself another gun out of here. The thing about gun safes, though, is that you often will not find entire guns. You'll often only find parts. So you're better off looking in toilets for guns or looking in airdrops, because you'll only get gun parts. So unless you have the book to know how to assemble a gun, it's not going to be very useful for you. As you can see here, we've got some pistol parts, shotgun parts. Of course, I can't assemble any of these, so I am going to leave these behind. Again, I can always come back and pick these parts up later on, and I probably will in a future episode. Interesting, it looks like the wolf has disappeared completely. So that's fine, that suits me okay. This has been an exceptional run. I can't believe my luck today. Oh, fantastic. Shotguns, pistols, shotgun shells. I can hear something close by. It appears I might have attracted some attention. Okay. We are going to take this chick out. Now, one thing about firearms, I could unload on this chick, but I often find, well, firearms in this game very, very hard to come by. Well, sorry, ammo for firearms in this game is very hard to come by. Guns you can get. Okay, I've already got those. Got 2 of those. Let's scrap those for now. And we'll just drop up here. So yeah, ammo is hard to find. You will loot ammo. You might find 1 bullet here, 2 bullets here or there. If you find your cops and soldiers, they'll often drop a lot of. Oh, nice. Let's wear that. Bit of protection for me. You find cops or soldiers, they'll often drop guns, but you'll never find 100 bullets or a couple of 100 bullets sitting in a box. Often you'll find maybe up to a dozen bullets at a time, and 1 magazine for a gun. So you do need to be very careful about your ammo expenditure. I tend to follow the rule, if my life's not in danger and it's not a dog or one of the faster enemies in the game or a nighttime attack, I'll usually keep the gun in this holster. But I always, if I have a gun, make sure that it's on my hotbar, of course. And I tend to favour pistols early in the game simply because they're fast. Ammo is reasonably easy to find for them, and if I die and lose a pistol, I'm not going to be too worried about it. Stuff like the sniper rifle, they're very hard to find. Something like this I'll probably leave in my base, because it's really good to have for a horde night for base defense. I'll often save my sniper bullets up and use them to take out zombies from a safe distance on horde night. Whereas a pistol will be a panic weapon for me. Things go south or a pack of dogs attacks me, that's when I'm going to rip out the pistol and start trying to pop some heads. Okay, we better repair this. Oh, and another pistol, damn. This is very fortuitous. Okay. Alright, so I did get a little bit of food, but not as much as I'd like. So there is one place nearby where I know I absolutely can get a lot of food, and that's the desert down here. So now it's about 5:30 at night, and I am really loaded up on stuff, so there's not really much more I can do today. I'm going to head down here, and I'm going to try and grab myself some yucca plants. Eat those up. I'm not desperate for food. The tinned food I got will probably do me for about a day. About a day, well, I'd probably say maybe 2 days worth of food with the meat I got. But I often like to have a nice stockpile of supplies. So, and the desert's not too far, it's just down here. We've got time. Let's use it. So, yeah, how have you been finding the playthrough so far? This game has been a favourite of mine. I mentioned in the first episode, I've been playing this game on and off for 6 years. So it's definitely one of those games I always return to it. I'll usually do a playthrough once a year. It does have a fairly infrequent development cycle. That's probably my only complaint of the game. The fun pimps do tend to have this game in a vacuum, and the PlayStation version of the game is very, very slow development cycle, even more so than the PC version. So yeah, that's one of those things. The PlayStation version obviously was not developed directly by the Fun Pimps. It was developed by by Telltale. So Telltale, for those who don't know, they did Walking Dead. We don't need two. Do I need two claw hammers? I'm trying to think if I need two. Ah, turd. Don't need those. So Telltale developed The Walking Dead, the adventure game Walking Dead, and they also have done a lot of really, really high quality titles. So they were an excellent choice to go for. And the PlayStation version it's very far behind the PC version. For example, one of the most I suppose the prolific changes to the building system is the way in which now wood's very weak now, and the game encourages you to use flagstone, and there is no flagstone in the PlayStation version. PlayStation version only just recently got vehicles, and the PlayStation version doesn't have some of the newer crops in the game. So it's at least 3 or 4 releases behind 3 or 4 major releases behind the PC version of this game. So yeah, it is what it is. I still play the PlayStation version simply because it has the split screen. And a lot of my friends who aren't PC gamers, they're not really wanting to outlay money to buy it on PC, which is a bit strange because I actually bought this game on the PC. I paid $20 for it, and the PlayStation version was around $50. So it's definitely a lot cheaper to buy this game on PC than it is on PlayStation. Okay, what are we looking like for food? 43. Alright, looking good. All that stuff on the ground is just all grass. Plant fibers, I don't have the room for it. Nothing too bad. I would like to get all of this medicine as well, but we have some at home, so I'm not too worried about that. I will start a farm in the next episode. There we go. Alright, so we're going to head on home. I'll smash some of these down on the way. Our hunger's actually pretty good. We've done quite well today. We've found meat stew. We've found a lot of tinned goods. We've got this 50 yucca fruit. So we'll make it for the... Oh, I'm going the wrong way. We'll make it for the next 3 or 4 days. Well, until I can get a farm set up. And I might actually do that in a tutorial. Thinking on it, a farming tutorial. My farming tutorial for Project Zomboid was, of course, a big success. So it's only fair I do the same for 7 days. Now, farming in this game's actually I think it's a pretty straightforward experience compared to a lot of the other survival games I've played. So we're just going to... What do we got here? Oops. So map. So we've mainly just got guns. We've got an inventory full of guns. We're very well armed. So thinking forward to my next goals, probably going to revolve around getting first the farm and then preparing for day 7. So I mentioned this before, every 7 days we get a large zombie horde that comes in on your location and tries to give you a bad day. So we're gonna need to make some defenses. We're gonna need to drop some spike traps, and at this point the spike traps are pretty much the only thing I can build. Eventually, when we get more advanced traps, I'll be able to drop blade traps. I'll be able to drop electric traps, and work my way up to things like automated turrets. A lot of really cool stuff. But we don't have that sort of tech now. But the first sword on day 7 is often around 20 to 30 zombies, give or take. And if you're lucky, the traps will take care of at least 2/3 of them. The rest you can take out with your bow. And now I've got a couple of guns. I should be okay. I reckon if I add about another maybe couple of dozen spikes, I'll be able to ride the horde out. It's really the day 21 horde onwards. They're the ones you really got to worry about. So it's now 8 o'clock, so we're gonna have to try and I'll see if we can get past this guy. Looks like he's not interested in me. All good. That would have been a really good spot to loot, by the way. The academy. But we're all in good time. We only hit a small portion of the town, just these couple of buildings here. And often your looting runs will be, sometimes you'll find absolutely nothing. There's been times when I've been on the brink of starvation from going through half a town and finding nothing but one tin of food. And other times you'll come home with your we made 2 trips, two inventories full of supplies today, so we've done pretty well. I'm getting pretty hot though. Now we are going to cut this pretty close, but I just realised that I don't have a lot in the way of water. I thought I'll go down to the water's edge, but we've only got an hour and a half till night time. So what I'll do is I'll juice a couple of these yucca fruits. No big deal. I'll juice some of the yucca fruits if I need water during the night. It looks like I will. Got a couple more glasses of water. We're all good. So I think our food problem's been solved. We've got around 3-4 days worth of food, give or take. So I'm pretty happy with that for now. We've got enough to make it to day 7. And hopefully by then our farm will have been completed. So what I'm going to do is let's complete this for now. Now one thing I'll show you which is really cool, the reason why I wanted the wrench, it's a lot more efficient at upgrading blocks than the hammer, than your stone axe, and if you look at the claw hammer, even more so. One click. There we go, all done. So let's just pop a chest down. I will have to clear some space. And what I like to do is I'm going to put it like a bug out bag or a bug out chest here in case things go bad and this base gets completely overrun. And I overdo a runner, sniper rifle and bullets, bottle of water, spare pistol, half our rounds, and I'll chuck our motorbike parts in here as well. We won't need those for a while. Some fences, that'll be definitely useful, and of course some fuel. Okay, looking good. So I'll pop some more chests up here just to get rid of the rest of our goods, and that should do us for now. We've got a very nice cache of supplies today. couple of call-outs being the car parts we got, the tools like the claw hammer and the wrench. And finally, we managed to find some bike parts. So I'm feeling pretty confident. What we can do now is fill up all of these bottles of water, go out and get some more supplies like clay and stone to finish our build, and get a lot more wood to complete another row of spikes. So I'm going to hunker down for another night. I'm just going to spend the night up here, very quiet, and try and ride the night out without attracting too much attention. Going to drink the last of my drinks here, make myself a cool glass of yucca juice, and try and ride the night out. So as always, if you enjoyed this episode, leave me a subscription. If you feel so inclined, leave me a like, and let me know what you thought of the series thus far. Until next time, Skill Incarnate out.